What if the most dangerous book in history was buried on purpose? In 1945, a sealed jar was pulled from the Egyptian desert containing a gospel that the early church tried to destroy. It had no miracles, no resurrection, no story at all. Just 114 sayings attributed to Jesus that read like koans from a Zen master. This is the Gospel of Thomas. And in this video, we're going to walk through 5 sayings that most people have never heard, but that might change the way you think about everything. Saying 1. Whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. This is the very first line of the entire text, and it's essentially a dare. It doesn't say, believe in me and you'll be saved. It says, figure this out. The Gospel of Thomas frames the spiritual journey not as faith, but as discovery. You are given riddles, and the act of wrestling with them, of genuinely seeking understanding, is itself the path. Death here isn't physical. It's the death of living unconsciously, of sleepwalking through your own existence. The promise is, wake up, and you'll realize you were never really mortal. Saying 2. Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all. This is a complete spiritual roadmap in 4 sentences. First, you seek. Then you find something, and it disturbs you, because real truth always does. It dismantles your comfortable assumptions. But if you stay with that discomfort instead of running from it, something extraordinary happens. Astonishment. That moment when the veil drops and you see reality as it actually is. And in the final stage, ruling over the all. Not power over others, but sovereignty over your own perception. You're no longer ruled by the world because you finally understand it. Saying 17. I shall give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has never occurred to the human mind. Read that again. What no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, what has never even occurred to the human mind. This isn't describing a better version of what you already know. It's describing something that your current consciousness literally cannot conceive. Every mystical tradition speaks of a knowledge that transcends the senses, a direct knowing that bypasses thought entirely. Thomas presents Jesus not as someone offering answers, but as someone offering a completely new category of experience, one that makes all your previous questions irrelevant. Saying 18. The disciples said to Jesus, tell us how our end will be. Jesus said, have you discovered then the beginning, that you look for the end? For where the beginning is, there will the end be. The disciples are asking about the future, about death, about what happens next. And Jesus redirects them entirely. You're worried about the ending, but you haven't even understood the beginning. This is a teaching about the nature of time itself. In linear thinking, there's a start and a finish. But Thomas suggests that time is circular, or perhaps that it doesn't exist at all in the way we imagine. If you can return to the source, to whatever you were before you were born, you'll find that the end you're so afraid of was never separate from where you started. Origin and destination are the same point. Saying 13. Thomas said to Jesus, Master, my mouth is wholly incapable of saying whom you are like. Jesus said, I am not your master. Because you have drunk, you have become intoxicated by the bubbling spring which I have measured out. This is the moment that gives the entire gospel its name. When asked who Jesus is, Peter compares him to an angel. Matthew compares him to a philosopher. But Thomas? Thomas says, I can't even describe you. My language breaks down. And Jesus' response is extraordinary. I am not your master. This is the opposite of what you'd expect a religious teacher to say. He's not asking for worship. He's saying, You've tasted the same water I drink from. You're intoxicated by the same source. The student and the teacher are drinking from the same spring. That spring is available to everyone. 5 sayings. Buried for 1600 years. Condemned by the church. Forgotten by history. And yet they survived. The Gospel of Thomas doesn't ask you to believe anything. It asks you to seek, to question, and to discover for yourself what has been hidden in plain sight. All 114 sayings are available right now, for free, in the Spirit Buddy app. The link is in the description.